Hey everyone, and welcome to the Back Bedroom. I'm your host Jeffrey, and this is episode 40. I know the numbering's a little weird because we had a couple of small episodes, special episodes in there, but going with the line of numbered episodes, this is number 40. Man, what an episode. Got a lot of stuff to go through, but first off, how's everybody doing? Good. Alright, so here's what we got to do. We got a lot of stuff to cover this episode. First up, we're going to do a wrap-up, right? Because last week was the top 10 video games list, which I had so much fun doing, putting together. Just everything about it was a lot of fun. Talking to everybody about their games. Then once the episode come out, I had people hit me up, sending me messages, wanting to send their 10s in, wanting to do all this. So it was a lot of fun, drummed up a lot of conversation, which is always great. And it's given me a really cool idea. I mean, really cool. Like, I can't stop thinking about it. So I tell you what, we'll start with that. We'll start with the cool idea. Then, I mentioned last week when I was reading off Andy's list, he accidentally left off the black flag description. So he sent me that. I'll read that off for him real quick. And then a friend, longtime friend, Tim, sent his top 10 in a few days ago. So I'm going to read that off. So first thing up is the cool idea. And this is from the brain of the producer, the art maker, the just maker of things, Trevor. So he had the idea, and I don't know where he got it, but this is what's so fantastic, was top 10 gaming snacks. Yeah, you heard me right. So check this out. So I started thinking, when he said that to me, I was like, oh, that's funny. But then I got to thinking, we've already done the top 10 characters, right? We just did top 10 games. So now we have everybody's top 10 characters, and now we have everybody's top 10 games. So the way I put it together in my head is, okay, so it's Friday afternoon. We just got done with school or whatever. It's Friday night. Some people, y'all are going to come over to the house. We're going to play video games all night. We're going to stay up all night. We're going to play video games. We got the gaming magazines. We got everything set up. We got everything ready to roll. But what are we eating? What are we drinking? What are we snacking on? We know what our top 10 characters are. We know what our top 10 games are. We know what games everybody's bringing, right? We know what games I got. So now it's time to figure out what snacks we're going to go with. So that's right. The next top 10 list officially is going to be top 10 gaming snacks. I absolutely love the idea, so we're going to roll with it. And then, with the help of Tim, friend of the show Tim, he brought up, hey, what about top 10 villains and bosses? What a great idea, but why not do that after the snacks? So we're going to do the heroes. We've already done the hero with characters. We've done the games. Now we're going to do the snacks. So now we're going to have everything ready. And what's the last thing you face, right? Once we get through the game, at the very end, you got to face the boss. So the very next one we're doing is top 10 gaming snacks. The one to close it out will be top 10 video game villains or / bosses. So everybody listening, go ahead and start thinking about those two things, because those are going to be fun. Those are going to be a lot of fun. So that's what we got on tap for that. But first, let's get Andy's black flag description. All right, so he says, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. His thoughts quickly are, this was his favorite era of Assassin's Creed games, or as I like to call, Phase 2, which includes Assassin's Creed 3, Liberation, Black Flag, and Rogue. Although I haven't touched the series since briefly checking out Syndicate, it seems like they had smoothed out the edges of the first few games and focused on much more contemporary time periods. Black Flag had so much to explore, and even after completing the campaign, I felt like I had only scratched the surface. So that was his Black Flag description. And I wanted to get that in because when I noticed he left it off, I'm sure that was an accident or whatever. And I brought it up to him because I wanted to make sure I got everything that he wanted included into his list. Alright, so now we have Tim's top 10 list. And excuse my mouse, because you're going to hear my mouse moving on the thing that has the microphone standing on it. Alright, so Tim's top 10, here we go. Motor City Online, PC, number 10. The game that no one has heard of, let alone played. It came out during the age before DSL and high-speed internet, which unfortunately killed the game. However, for the few months EA had the servers up, it was one of the coolest experiences I have had with an online multiplayer game. You build your own muscle car and live in a racing community. The parts catalog was really detailed and advanced. You had to win to get money to buy better cars parts. The list of cars was amazing. If you wanted to drag race a 57 Bel Air, go for it. If you want to take your 69 Charger around the circuit track, do it. If you wanted to race for pinks, beware, because that slow dial-up internet could lag at any moment and cost you your prize vehicle. This game was well before its time. I seldom check message boards to see if there were any talks of bringing it back to life. I signed a petition years ago to get EA on board with the remake. It was a mechanic simulator and online racing together on dial-up internet. I vaguely remember him talking about that game. I think we knew someone else who was real big into it, Tim, if I'm thinking correctly, someone who shares my last name. But yeah, I remember him talking about that before. Number 9, Batman Arkham City for the 360. Okay, so Arkham City, it was on Gerald's list as well. An open-world action game full of Batman lore and villains. What more can I say? Arkham Asylum was a classic, but I feel Arkham City went even further with the combat and story and resulted in one of the best superhero games ever. At the time, I thought, man, this world is huge and there's so much to do. The mood and darkness of the city, the relationship rivalry between Batman and Joker. Such a cool experience. I've gone back and replayed the trilogy again, and there's just something special about Arkham City. I agree. Arkham City was probably my favorite out of the three. Number 8, Ghost of Tsushima, PS4, 5. I started this game because it just looked too beautiful to not give it a try. The graphic, landscapes, combat, and theme really blew me away. Who doesn't like a good samurai sword fight? And add in a very realistic looking feudal Japan and an emotional gripping story, and you get a pretty awesome game. It's still on my list, and now the movie has been given the green light from everything I've read from Sony. So they're doing all Japanese cast, subtitles, the full force. Number 7, The Last of Us, PS4. This made my list for one reason, Joel. Joel is probably my favorite video game character of all time. The way you live his life with him and watch him transform from a cold, hard, broken man to a caring father figure for Ellie made me want to be better in my own life. Amazing story and atmosphere. You can all imagine my emotional reaction to The Last of Us 2. Oh, can I read this off? It's a spoiler. Can I read it? You all played Last of Us 2, right? So he says, Last of Us 2, R.I.P. Joel, #spoiler. Sorry for anybody who I just ruined the game for. Number 6, Pokemon Yellow, Game Boy Color. Here we go. Most 90s kids' introduction to Pokemon. So much can be said about this game and brand, but this game is special to me because my love for Pokemon has been passed down to my daughter. She knows more about Pokemon than I do now. We have spent hours together playing Pokemon Go and just about every Pokemon game on the Switch. This all started with Pokemon Yellow. Yellow is a special one, man. It was mine and my brother's first dive into it. It was a really special game. World of Warcraft, PC, number 5. I remember his dive into World of Warcraft. This game has fully engulfed my life twice. I went so deep into this game that it was all I did for hours of the day. I lived WoW. It took 2 major events to bring me out of this world. Failing classes in college and almost getting killed by my parents. Years later, got back into it and had built my character up pretty good, and my first child came along. Time to get a better job. It is such an amazing experience that can really only be understood by people who have played it. You could play this thing for years and never see and do half of what it has to offer. I agree. I remember when you got hardcore into it the first time around. I dipped my toe into it a few years after you did, and man, I had to dive out quick because I felt myself getting lost. Number 4, Elden Ring, PS5. Wow. Okay. I struggled. I almost put this on my top 10, but I couldn't. The only game that has really scratched that World of Warcraft itch for me. Then you add the style and challenge of a From Software game, and you get one of my favorite games. A huge world full of enemies that want to kill you. Hundreds of armor and weapon combinations, Co-op so you can team up and take out those ridiculous bosses. A true masterpiece that will spawn many other great games that use this formula. Number 3, Halo 3, Xbox 360. My only reason to ever even buy an Xbox. The late night Halo parties are what I remember. I think everyone in town played this game. I remember linking up TVs in different rooms and playing matches all night. There may have been 20 plus people in the house, all taking turns in each match. That's true. I can vividly recall my first Rampage and online play. No other online shooter can really beat Team Snipers at Valhalla or Shoddy Snipes at Guardian. Hell, all the maps are fantastic. I could probably pop it in now and remember how to play all the maps. Yeah, for sure. Man, those LAN parties were silly. Number 2, NCAA football, any year, PS2, Xbox 360. So him and Trevor have this up there. Probably the franchise I have put the most hours into throughout my life. I have won hundreds of Heisman trophies, national championships, and recruiting battles. I have built up schools like UAB and Florida Atlantic to elite programs and national championship contenders. Whatever the game mode, I played it and loved it dearly. I can't wait for the return. Countless football tournaments played at friends' houses. B-Horn 50 from the crunk talking all his shit. Those were the good old days. Yeah, that's... there's never been a more truer statement than that right there. B-Horn 50 from the crunk. That dude talks so much mess for no reason. And would get beat. Like, he always just played zone and you could just pick it apart. His number one game on his list, Red Dead Redemption 2, PS4. No game has ever connected to my emotions quite like RDR2. I loved Red Dead Redemption 1, but 2 really took the world and story to another level. There was so much to do. I could spend hours just hunting animals to create new pieces of clothing and fur sets. I knew it only had 6 chapters because of the trophy list. I wouldn't complete Chapter 3 for the longest time because I didn't want the game to end, and I knew Chapter 4 meant I was halfway over. I felt like this game changed me when it ended. I took a break from video games for a while because I was afraid I would just be disappointed. I can completely connect to that with The Witcher 3. I've talked about it on here before. I've talked about it a ton. I mean, everybody knew I loved The Witcher 3. Everybody had thought I had already beat the game 100 times. They thought I had blasted through the DLC multiple times, but I hadn't. I would always, as soon as the boat crashed and I landed on Skellige, I would always quit because I thought once I got to Skellige, the game was over because of the way the story was being set up, right? So I thought, no, there's no way. So I would stop every time and start a new game immediately. And I didn't recently beat it until right before my daughter was born. So I completely understand that. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2, number 1. Wow. Was it on anybody else's list? I can't remember right now off the top of my head. His honorable mentions, he has Assassin's Creed franchise. I know many people hate these games, but I can't get enough of Assassin's Creed. The only reason I didn't put this in my top 10 is because I couldn't decide on just one. I guess if you forced me to choose, I would go with Black Flag, but I actually enjoy them all. As someone who studies and teaches history, the detail of these games and history in them is one of the coolest aspects. I have referenced Origins and Odyssey numerous times in my ancient history classes. As long as they continue to make these games and keep them historical and detailed, I will play and complete them. So there you go. There's a different aspect of video games, right? He's actually using it in his classroom for his students, which is super cool. And for him to be pushed into choosing Black Flag, and considering I had to read Black Flag's description off for Andy, that speaks highly of Black Flag. Black Flag's the only one I've put the most time into, actually. He's got 2 more honorable mentions. Oh, his third honorable mention is going to be a hit with some of y'all. Okay, his other one is NCAA Baseball 06. Another game many never played and kids these days have no idea about. When this game came out, I played the crap out of it. Not only was it a great baseball game as far as controls and mechanics, I could now play as Alabama and create the players that I watched all the time in Tuscaloosa. This game may or may not have inspired a trip to go see the College World Series. It probably did. I remember sitting in the hotel and actually playing the College World Series before heading out to watch the actual College World Series. I do remember that. We would put the 2 teams. It was Oregon State and North Carolina, and we would play it on PlayStation and then actually go to the stadium. And we made the trip out to Omaha, Nebraska, to watch the College World Series. Okay, So his third honorable mention and final game on his list, The Sims. A straight nostalgic feeling toward this game. I can remember all night game sessions or just working on my house and fast forwarding my characters. One of the first PC games I ever played, and I put a large amount of time on the weekends into this game. There's just something so cool about being able to start and live another life and control so many aspects. So I know that The Sims is a big favorite of Andy. I know they just recently did a episode, him and Mash just did a episode on it on Retro Game Time Machine. So cool that it was Tim's final honorable mention. So there was his top 10. Thank you, Tim, for sending those in. Man, NCAA football made a couple lists. You and Trevor, Arkham City. Like I said, I know Jerry had that series on his. Red Dead Redemption, in some form or fashion, was on a couple of lists. Halo was definitely on a few lists. That's really cool. Elden Ring was on my honorable mentions. I almost put it in my top 10 because of just the impact it had on me in that short amount of time. But, man, doing the top 10, and me and Tim talked about this, it was kind of difficult. Like, it was easy doing my top 3 or 4, but then once I kind of got into it, it got a little bit more difficult. All right, so that's going to wrap up the top 10 video game list. Again, thank you so much to everybody who sent something in. I really appreciate it. It's been definitely my most popular episode, and I'm not even talking about downloads or anything like that. I'm just talking about people talking about it, which is so much fun, and that's really what it's all about, right? It's just all of us kind of talking and coming together for it. And after people listen to it, I had people messaging me saying, oh man, so-and-so had that on their list, or I can't believe Battlefront 2 was the most picked, and you know, it's just so many cool things, right? Because I even talked to Jerry, who's a friend of the show now, a friend, someone I consider a friend now, that I've met, and me and him talked about Battlefront 2 the other day, and you know, how me and my brother experienced it versus how he experienced it. It's so cool. And I just absolutely love all that. So again, thank you all for that. And we can officially put the top 10 video games to bed, but we're not done. Again, like I said, top 10, be thinking about this now, because this is going to be a fun one. Top 10 video game snacks. Here's where I'm going with this. I think I set the scene pretty good earlier, but let me lay it out here for you. So when I'm saying top 10 video game snacks, I'm saying you're coming over to your house. We're all gonna meet up at somebody's house. We're having a slumber party. We got the video games. We got the characters. We got everything else we need. We just need the video games. We just need the snacks. And then we're going to take on the villains and the bosses. So let's worry about the snacks here. So that's where we're going. That's the angle we're playing with. Top 10 video game snacks. Okay, we're going to do some snacks, have a good time. We're going to play all night. And then we're going to take the villains and the bosses out later. So that's what we're doing next. Top 10 video game snacks. So start thinking about that. All right. So here's another main thing I wanted to do. I knew I was coming up on a year with the back bedroom, which is so crazy to me. I can't believe I've been doing this for a year. It kind of blows my mind, actually. So I wanted to go through. I counted all my episodes, total episodes, and I looked up the dates. And so we're going to do some sort of a celebration. I don't know what yet, but here's the thing. It's right around the corner. So, not counting this episode, we have, and I'm counting everything we've ever done for the back bedroom, we have 52 total episodes. Okay? That's 52 weeks in a year. We've done great. We're actually going to be a little over one per week just because our year anniversary is coming up. Our 1 year anniversary is on September the 9th. That's next week, or the week after. It's in a few days. Holy crap. That came up quick, didn't it? So the back bedroom is turning 1 on September the 9th. We're going to do something special for it. I don't know what yet. We're going to do something. So be thinking about that. Maybe we can do, and I know there might not be a whole lot, but maybe we could just have people kind of submit what they've liked about the back bedroom for this first year. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can think of something, right? We can think of something. It's a year. We got a little bit to think about it. But the year anniversary is coming up on September the 9th. So fun stuff there. All right. Real quick, I'm going to take a drink break and then hit y'all with the mid-episode spiel. And then I'm going to go into a couple things real quick. And then we're going to wrap this bad boy up. Because I feel like I've hit y'all with a lot already. We're 20 minutes in. We had to wrap up top 10 and talk about the 1 year anniversary. I cannot believe it's so close. All right. Dr. Pepper time. Let me take a drink of Dr. Pepper. And then I'm going to tell you guys what you have to do with the back bedroom. All right. Here's what you got to do. If you like the back bedroom and you want to support it at no cost, all you have to do is share the show on your social media accounts. Completely free. Helps the show out a bunch. We got to get ratings. We got to get reviews. We got to get eyeballs on the show. We're coming up on a year. Tell people about it. If they have an iPhone, get the iPhone from them. Go to the podcasting app. Give us a 5-star rating. Leave a little review. It's so simple. And even if you don't know what to put for the review, all you got to do is say, hey, back bedroom's cool. That's good enough review for me. Or, hey, Jeffrey's a cool guy. That's a good enough review for me. Just hit 5 stars and share it and tell people about it. All right. Here's some of the quick things I have wrote down here. So again, man, I'm real excited about the top 10 video game snacks. That's going to be fun. We got to think of something for the 1 year anniversary. I got something I want to talk to you guys about. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I want to do it because I feel like it's something that kind of played on my mind for a bit, and I want to talk about it, but I don't know how, but I want to talk about it. So we'll have to figure out a way to do it. So a few weeks ago, I got invited out to go to an event with my uncle-in-law. He was like, hey, come hang out. It's like a guys' night thing. Da-da-da-da. I was like, okay, cool. So I went with him. It turned out to be this event at this big church here in the state. It's probably the biggest church here in the state. It's a very big thing. They have different campuses in different areas of the state. All across the state. It's huge. It's massive. And it was this guys' night thing. And it was just very interesting being there because it was so many people. And then we went in and they had a little sermon or a little thing where everybody talked where he was one guy talked and did stuff. And it got me thinking, I don't know why, but it just kind of got my mind running with things about church or religion or something. And I feel like there's a cool episode there. I'm not sure how to do it yet. So, and I don't want to do anything that could be deemed disrespectful, right? I want to be respectful for everybody. But it is something that I thought would be kind of cool to talk about because it's a big thing, but there's just so many different takes and views on it. That to me is what's interesting about it. So that's something I'm kind of kicking around. I wanted to throw it out to you guys. So if any of y'all have any strong feelings or recommendations about something in that area, please shoot me an email or text or something and let me know something. I don't know, just kind of kicking some stuff around, but I wanted to throw it out to you guys first to kind of see where y'all are at. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, so yeah, House of the Dragon kicked off last week. So I'm not going to do a review after every episode because I feel like there's enough there. You probably could maybe stretch it, but I don't want to do it that way. So I think I'm going to do it after every 3 episodes because I think there's like 10 or 11 in this first season. So we'll do like 3 episodes and then a review. 3 episodes. So that way we can kind of talk about a good chunk at one time. So I thought the first episode was good. What are y'all's thoughts on it? If you are watching it, how do y'all feel about it? Which I've read a bunch, so I kind of already know where it's going, I guess. We're just going to have to see how they end up playing it all out on screen. But what are your thoughts on it so far? I'll tell you one thing I'm absolutely loving is the Sandman on Netflix. Holy crap. Like, that thing came out of nowhere, didn't it? I didn't even know that was being made, and it is so good. With Neil Gaiman, it's so good, so good. If anybody else is watching it, please let me know what you think about it. I guess I'll bring this up because people are watching it, but She-Hulk, we're 2 episodes in. I think it's the worst thing I've seen so far from Marvel, and that's saying something. I have not enjoyed it at all. There's been like little itty bitty moments here and there that were okay, but I have not enjoyed it at all. My daughter loves the Hulk, so she's absolutely losing her mind over it. And to me, that's everything. So we're gonna keep watching it. We're gonna keep it, letting her enjoy it. But I have not enjoyed it as much as I thought I would. So that's something. But I wanted to bring that up because, again, so if you're watching House of the Dragon, She-Hulk, or Sandman, let me know what you think about them. House of the Dragon and Sandman, thumbs up. She-Hulk, thumbs down. But again, that's just my personal opinion. I have not enjoyed it at all. What I have been enjoying, though, is Diablo. The new season kicked off Friday, Season 27, so that's been a lot of fun to dive back into that. Been really enjoying that. And then college football season, well, technically kicked off yesterday, but a lot of games were kicking off Thursday, and then Saturday is week 1. I brought up some lines, some betting lines, so if any of y'all are in the area, in states where you can bet, and I am by no means a bookie or anything, so do not take this as like 100% to the bank. I'm just telling you what I enjoy. Pittsburgh and West Virginia are playing Thursday night. Wait, yeah, I think it's Thursday night. Pittsburgh's -7. I like that a lot. I'd probably take Pittsburgh -7. That was another one I really saw that was, is this Saturday? Yeah. That Oregon-Georgia game, I know I talked about in the college football preview. Oregon is still plus 17.5. I think I would take that. I'd take 17.5. Arkansas -6.5 over Cincinnati. I would take that. I'd hammer the -6.5 there. And I'm just going through right off the top of my head, looking at stuff. BYU, South Florida. I love BYU. I talked about them a lot in my college football preview. I think I'd take South Florida plus 12.5. I don't know why, but I would take South Florida plus 12.5. I just feel it. Utah at Florida -2.5. Man, that one's tricky because Utah's got a really good team, but coming down into Florida is something else. But I think Utah will take care of them. So I would take Utah -2.5. I take Utah minus the points. Notre Dame at Ohio State, and they're plus 17. Jeez. Man, that's going to be a game to see if they can step up defensively. I don't know what I would do there. I think 17's way too big, so I wouldn't take Ohio State. But I also wouldn't take Notre Dame plus 17 because it's just too scary. I'd probably stick with the under. I'd go under 58.5 and just let that ride. Clemson, Georgia Tech's not even worth talking about. Let's see. Penn State, Purdue, I think is Thursday night as well. I'd take Penn State -3. I just don't think Purdue could stick with them. Penn State has enough back that I think they'll be okay. I'm not seeing much else real interesting here in North Carolina at App State. At App State? That is weird. That is a weird one. Man, you can get App State plus 2.5 at home. I would maybe take that. Illinois at Indiana, and Illinois is plus 3.5. I think I'd take Illinois plus 3.5. They can run the ball. Yeah, Illinois plus 3.5. All right, and that's all from BetMGM. So if you can bet or like to bet, I don't know. That's just some quick lines I wanted to run through, just in case anybody wanted to look at them. Sorry for adding that in. As like I said, I guess I could have done like a betting episode, but I just thought those were interesting lines because by the time the week kicks off, I won't have a new episode out. So if you do bet and you are into college football, there's just my thoughts on a couple of games. But sure money, you do it, you won't. But yeah, let me know what you think about She-Hulk, House of the Dragon, Sandman. I know I already said that, but I'm interested in some of y'all's thoughts on those because Sandman has really blown me away out of the three. She-Hulk has really let me down. I know what I was going to ask you guys. So, playthroughs on YouTube. If you're watching a playthrough on YouTube, what are you trying to get out of it? Like, and I'm not talking about a walkthrough guide. I'm talking about, say you're just sitting around and you're like, man, I want to see somebody play, I don't know, what I talk, Diablo. Say I want to see somebody play Diablo. So you pull up Diablo on YouTube and someone's just playing it, no commentary. Is that, I mean, where do you feel about that stuff like that? Because I've gotten to where now, like I'm playing the game, so I'm recording it. I'm just not talking really because I feel different when I'm talking and playing versus just when I'm playing. Like I feel like I've got to do something, I guess, when I'm talking and playing. So I've gotten to the point where I'm just recording it and playing. So I think I'm just going to upload them to YouTube because I didn't know that there was like this whole group of like no commentary playthroughs. It's actually really popular. Like I kind of got lost in the rabbit hole last night of it. So yeah, I think I'm going to start posting some no commentary playthroughs. So be on the lookout for that. Here's the thing though. I accidentally linked my personal YouTube account to my PS5. And yeah, I could go in and change it. So, but I don't think I am. And I think I'm just going to kind of let that podcast episode keep popping up on the back bedroom. And I'll just record and post these up on my personal account. And that way I can just kind of share them both. And that way you can kind of see who's playing. And I can always push stuff over to the back bedroom or whatever. So if you're listening to this and you're interested in watching some playthroughs, once I really get them up and going, I'll start posting links with that in the show notes, or definitely find it on Twitter. I'll be tweeting them out with the back bedroom and my personal account. But yeah, all right, so that's 30 minutes. I think that's going to wrap up this episode. I really just wanted to wrap up last week's, tell you guys that we're at 52 total episodes, 53 counting this one, so 53 total episodes, and the 1 year anniversary is on September the 9th, so we got to think of something to do for the 1 year anniversary. Top 10 Gaming Snacks is on the horizon, so be thinking about that. Let me know what your thoughts about a religion/church episode, because I got some things, man. Going to that thing kind of really got some stuff going around in my head. Let me know what you think about all that. She-Hulk, House of the Dragon, Sandman reviews. What you thinking there? I'm really enjoying Sandman. Really, really enjoying it. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's going to do it. So thank you all so much for checking out this episode. It means so much. Again, we're coming up on a year. It's crazy to even think that I've been doing this for a year. I've met so many cool people doing it. It's been a blast. So here's to even more coming. And there's so much more I want to do, right? Like, cause the year's coming. And that's how I really want to kick it off is let's use the year as a launch point. Like, this was a huge test run. We got it going. I feel like we've got a great base going now. Let's let's let the year get here. Let's celebrate it, and then let's grow this thing. Because I've got some stuff cooking, man. I've got stuff in the pot. We just got to keep stirring it and see what happens. Because I think if we're serious, which I am, if I'm being true to myself with this, then it's original, right? Like nobody can do what I can do. But if I'm being true to myself, like everybody's unique and original in that way, right? So I can't be copied if I'm doing what's true with me in the back bedroom. So let's keep that rolling. Let's stay creative, and let's get to the year, and then let's see what we can do. So yeah, that's going to wrap this episode. Thank you all so much for listening. There are tons of other podcasts you could be listening to, and you chose to listen to mine. And for that, I am forever thankful. So if you want to interact with me or the show, here's how to do so. Twitter, @TheBackBedroom. Also, my personal Twitter, SpaceEGhost. That's Space Ghost with 3 E's, SpaceEGhost. You can also email the show at backbedroompod@gmail.com. And then again, if you want to look us up on YouTube, it's just type in The Back Bedroom. It should pop up. It's all the podcast episodes on there. And of course, you can always find the show wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Good Pods, etc. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and rate for the algorithm. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to give the thumbs up and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please give the 5-star rating and a review if on Apple, or Good Pods as well. Good Pods lets you leave little reviews. So 5-star ratings and reviews help so much. It's what helps kick us into different lists and stuff like that, and be seen by others. The more people that see us, the better, right? Because who knows who will see us and who may like what we're doing here. Because I think we got something special here. I think we got a cool thing going. We got a couple more cool episodes in. Top 10 video game snacks. Nobody's doing that. We'll do that. We'll do the villains. We'll have those 2 to come up. We got a year celebration to talk about. We got those 3 things right off the jump. We got God of War Ragnarok coming up in November. There's a bunch of stuff happening. So we've got plenty to talk about. We got plenty to do. So yeah, make sure to tell people about it. Get them to like it. Share it. Talk about it. You got to grow the brand. That's what people say, right? Grow the brand. Or the band. We can start a band. We can grow the brand, then start a band. And then we can wear rubber band. Alright, anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Right here. I'll see y'all somewhere next time. Right here in the back bedroom.